Welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on Calgary's Business. Joining me today is John Seliga, who is owner of Vanguard Cleaning Systems. Thanks for joining us today, John.
Thank you.
So let's start, John, with, we've been in a crazy time here in the last month. How has the commercial cleaning industry changed in the past month?
Well, it's been a heck of a hectic month. I think as businesses realized that this tidal wave of virus infection was not going to miss Western Canada, we started getting contacted by all kinds of our customers via email and phone and text. And it's interesting because normally, the commercial cleaning service provider, you're not really top of mind. Most people, when they go home at the end of the day, they don't realize there's a whole team of people that come in and empty their garbage can and clean up the washrooms. But this past month, we were contacted by a lot of companies that wanted to understand how we would be able to fit into their business continuity plan. And our services were really quite crucial to ensuring that they could continue their operations through this period. So we had more conversations about disinfection services over the last 3 weeks than we've had probably over the last 5 years.
Wow. Give us an idea of who your customers are and what they were looking for from Vanguard as March progressed.
Well, so Vanguard Cleaning Systems operates across Western Canada. So we've got over 1,000 customers in Calgary, Edmonton, and the Lower Mainland of BC, and they span a variety of industries. So industrial, financial, technology, property managers, medical, dental, private and charter schools, even not-for-profits. And it's actually kind of fascinating to see, as this wave broke in Western Canada, who reacted and when. So interestingly, at the end of the first week of March, we got our first calls from our customers, and the ones that were calling in were the multinationals that were primarily based in Asia and Europe. And they were calling us saying, look, they're activating their business continuity plans, and they wanted to augment the standard disinfection services and cleaning services that they were getting from us, because we provide, we clean all of their operations in Western Canada. So there are actually, I guess, 5 different companies that had contacted us in that first week saying, okay, we want to increase the level of, or the frequency of cleaning, or we want to increase the disinfection services that we're getting to protect our workers. That was kind of the first wave. And then the next week, the North American companies, the local companies started contacting us, asking for the same things, because it took a little longer for them to kind of cotton on to the idea. So they were asking for, we want increased disinfection of common touch points in the office. So light switches, handrails, doorknobs, photocopier, control center. So, we would add additional personnel or additional services at night to provide those disinfection services to protect them. And then in the middle of March, when the government of Alberta canceled or closed down the schools and a number of restaurants and retail, that's when we started getting all kinds of calls from our customers saying, look, dental. So the Canadian Dental Association shut down all non-emergency dental procedures, and we have a lot of medical and dental customers. So they were calling saying, you know what, we're shut down, so we want to suspend our services indefinitely until this crisis passes. So it was like an initial influx of a lot of extra disinfection work, then a big crash of suspensions. I feel like we're in the eye of the storm now. But what's interesting is some of those multinationals are coming back to us now, and they're already saying we're having some conversations about planning for the re-entry back into the workforce. Mm-hmm. So, these forward-thinking organizations are saying, well, we want to make sure that when our employees come back after being in their houses for so long, that we're providing a clean, safe environment. So I suspect we'll have more of those conversations as the weeks progress.
Okay. How are your cleaning teams protecting customers against COVID?
Well, essentially, they're doing the same thing that we've always done. So as a commercial cleaning service provider, we're cleaning and we're disinfecting as part of our standard service schedule. But this past month, our customers have really wanted to emphasize a lot more of disinfecting common surfaces. So, when you're at home and you're cleaning your house, you have a multi-surface cleaner or multi-purpose cleaner. that isn't necessarily a disinfectant that would kill this virus. So, according to the CDC, they said that most common EPA registered disinfectants will be able to kill this virus. So the COVID-19 is just it's in the family of coronaviruses, which are envelope viruses. If you're using an EPA registered disinfectant properly, you'll be able to kill it. In Canada, the equivalent of EPA registration is done by Health Canada, and for a disinfectant to be effective against COVID, it needs to have a DIN number. So if you've got a disinfectant at home, you want to make sure, or a cleaner, make sure that it actually has a DIN number on it. So a drug identification number. It's kind of like what we use when we go to the pharmacy, or when we get our prescriptions. So disinfectants have to have drug identification numbers, and they should say on the label or in the product literature on the web that they have virucidal claims or claims against emerging virucides. So if you're using those disinfectants, which is what we use, and you're applying them properly, then that's how we are protecting our and providing that service to our customers. I should say that in using disinfectants, you need to make sure that you're allowing sufficient dwell time or contact time so that the germs, the microbes are being killed. So you can't just, take your disinfectant and do a quick wipe of a surface. What you need is to have enough contact time or wet time. So by spraying disinfectant on a surface and letting it sit for 5, 10, 30 seconds, depending on the disinfectant you're using, or you can use a microfiber cloth, which is quite moist, wipe it and make sure that it still stays wet to allow for that contact time. That's the proper procedure to make sure that you're actually getting the kill ratio that you're supposed to with the disinfectant.
Wow, great points and great tips there, John. What are your major concerns and challenges right now?
Yeah, you know what? My major concern right now is actually for the safety of our franchisee service providers. So these are folks who are every night heading off into their customers, and they're being asked to clean and disinfect environments and surfaces where you've got tens or hundreds of strangers really to them, right? So
yeah,
if you think about it, we're all, a lot of people are in their houses, and when they venture out to go to the grocery store, you see everyone kind of opening the doorknob with their elbows or not wanting to touch the shopping cart, and they've got this heightened sensitivity to what could be infected. While my service providers are going out into these customer locations every night, and we're hoping that our customers are taking precautions to minimize the potential infections. And I'm concerned about the availability of PPE and of disinfectant. So the PPE is getting very scarce. We know that it's being directed to the health services, which makes sense, but folks like janitors and custodians need that PPE as well. So luckily we had stocked up on disinfectant. There was actually a period of about 5 or 6 days when even our janitorial supply companies couldn't get their hands on disinfectant that was effective. We had managed to stock up on just enough to get us through that period, but PPE and disinfectant continues to be a concern going forward to protect our service providers.
Okay. As you look at this pandemic and what it's caused out there, is it going to change the commercial industry and how it is viewed by the customer?
Well, this situation has certainly changed the commercial cleaning industry in the immediate term. Businesses probably understand now more than ever that the folks who are coming in and cleaning and disinfecting their environments are an important part of creating a safe and healthy workplace for their employees. Again, if you've got folks who've been in their houses for weeks or months, afraid to step outside because you never know where these viruses are, and then when re-entry comes, when it's time to go back to work, you're going to put them into a building with tens or hundreds of other people. Everyone's touching the same coffee pot and opening the same or touching the same photocopier. So I think that ongoing disinfection services is going to be more important now to businesses that want to attract and retain employees than frankly it ever has been.
Yeah. Is there a product out there, a new product or a new technology out there that your industry can use to help in delivering protection for people during this time?
Yeah, there's not really any new products like the chemicals, the disinfectants we use. They're the ones that have been around for a long time. The same ones that are being used in hospitals. You've got your hydrogen peroxide based or your alcohol based, your quaternary ammonium. So for the most part, those are being in hospitals and manually applied. I mean, there's no new technology, but there is some older technology which never really was broadly adopted. So, for example, when
Hmm.
you're watching on TV, you're seeing in China or South Korea these guys going through with the photo electrostatic guns spraying disinfectant. Well, those have actually been around for quite a long time. I know that we looked at them at Vanguard about 7 years ago, and at that time, it was a difficult sell to our customers to say, hey, do you want us to preventatively come in and disinfect your environment? And traditionally, the thought has been, look, if you dump my garbage can, clean the washroom, that's good. I don't really want to incur additional costs. But going forward, I think preventative disinfection is going to be an important part of sort of the professional janitorial service that people are getting from companies like Vanguard. So we were lucky enough to get our order in for some of that equipment before the wave really got hit here, or before the wave crashed in Western Canada. So we're anticipating getting that quite shortly, and we'll be able to build those preventative disinfection services into our common services here very shortly.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us today, John.
You're very welcome. Pleasure to be here. Take care of yourself.
That was John Seliga, owner and president of Vanguard Cleaning Systems of Western Canada, on Business Insider with Mario Tonaguzzi on Calgary's Business.